Time out. It's Kale's Cito, the spirit coach, getting you in shape and form for the age of Aquarius yet again. And today we're going to talk about some concepts. We're going to talk about titles, language, and titles, language, and motherfucking anthropomorphism and stuff because it's probably like this probably like something that y'all probably gonna hear me talk about, you know what I'm saying, and just bring up as a concept far as when y'all hear me say light, you know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying, we're using light, or you know, when y'all hear me say, spirit is no thing, we're using light, you know what I'm saying? So this probably y'all gonna what y'all gonna hear me talking about or just bring up in ways. So I would rather do a video discussion to actually kind of break down what I mean by, light language titles and shit like that. And, you know, and another thing we got to realize is that, you know, the titles come after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cody. What you know about that blood moon? Oh yeah, we had the full blood moon and Scorpio, you know what I'm saying, in your sign. So, major emotional transformation happened, you know what I'm saying? Letting go, you know what I'm saying? We had to put depth to something, you know what I'm saying, in our life and shit like that. At the same time, release some type of power and control, but also remain in power control of how we want to feel about that and shit like that. And so we're going to be experiencing that energy for a couple more days. But you know what I'm saying? I wanted to kind of break down, just language titles and shit like that because the people be kind of remixing our well, not the people, but you know we be having our mind remixed to the point where like we'll try to take a title and fit that title instead of understanding that the titles get derived from what you already doing, you know what I'm saying, and then that's when you get the information and start calling it shit like that, you know what I'm saying. So this is where we get into the fourth dimension, being able to give something in the third dimension a title. You know what I'm saying? Now you in the fourth dimension. So don't let anybody rock you to sleep and make you think it's harder than that. You know what I'm saying? How do you get to the fourth dimension? Nah. Anything going farther than that is somebody trying to spin you. You know what I'm saying? So anytime you have a thought about something or you give it a title, aka we got this, right? You know what I'm saying? But this isn't what we calling it. So we starting to call it now. Now it has a title. So now it has a light or information that you as a spirit can float into that information without even smoking it physically, but you can actually understand that it has a space in an esoteric realm where you can understand, you know what I'm saying, and be aware of a substance or something like that, you know what I'm saying, and what information that substance brings. You know what I'm saying? The idea. So now you got a direction. And that's what we're talking about because we're talking about the masculine energy, the fourth dimensional energy, and you know what I'm saying, and how we plan it. So let me get to the shit. Let me get to the shit though. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So when first thing we gotta realize, you know what I'm saying, we dealing with anthropomorphism. You know what I'm saying? I don't even like these. Let me take these off because I don't like the light shining in the circles and shit. But yeah, we dealing with anthropomorphism, especially, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to like cartoons and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? What you gotta understand is they anthropomorphizing shit. You know what I'm saying? And when it gets to like watching something like Mickey Mouse, right? Mickey Mouse is like it's literally a digital image, but they're giving it um so masculine energy represents the fourth dimension. Yeah, masculine is 1, 4, 7. Feminine is 2, 5, and 6. No. Yeah, 2, 5, and 8. And then um what's the better? The androgyny is 3, 6, 9. So it's like that on the phone too. Two, I think. You know what I'm saying? One is individuality. 2 is relationship, relatability. You know what I'm saying? That's more receiving and shit like that. 3 is 3 is your surroundings. You know what I'm saying? The information. I mean, your environment, what you create to be aware of. And then 4, that's having a thought about that. 5 is how you feel about that, your emotions. 6 is paying attention to that. You know what I'm saying? 7 is coming up with an idea and information that can kind of separate you. 8 is giving time to that. 9 is uh, teaching, learning, ascending, and shit like that. Higher wisdom type shit. So it's all like about states and shit like that. But numbers carry a certain frequency vibration and shit like that. But yeah, so when we get to but yeah, that's a whole different type of shit. But like I said, I just kind of want to break this down because I know y'all probably gonna hear me talk about this in my songs. You know what I'm saying? Y'all probably gonna hear me talk about this. You know, just talk about this in this new way because this is the actual way to like understand this shit that kind of we've been lost in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving my best interpretation to you so that, you know what I'm saying, you can do with this information, you know what I'm saying, your live with this information your way and do it with it your way so you can take it, run it through your solar system, see if it resonate with you. And you know what I'm saying? There you go. But yeah, so let's give an example of an anthropomorphic situation. So Jesus. Now Jesus in the Bible, you know what I'm saying, is the character is an anthropomorphic character, right? So when we talk about Jesus, Jesus just represents a thought form, okay? And what type of thought form is that? It's a descended thought form, and it's a descended thought form about getting lost in the body, in the flesh, and dying for others, and how not to get lost in desires. AKA, it's an allegory for how not to get lost in your mentality, your man. That's why Jesus is a man, but your man is your idea, your light. That's why Jesus always got the sun behind him and shit like that. But it's your man, your mentality and shit like that. So anytime you get lost in a man in Jewish literature, this is, I mean, in Jewish, no, Masonic art, this is why they draw him as a man because they're trying to give you an idea of like I said, that masculine energy, that man, or how that thought form moves. Okay, so a thought form. A thought form is a descendant of, I mean, Jesus is a thought form and a descendant of a thought form on getting lost and dying for others and how not to get lost um, in your desires. So that light has its own information. The story itself has its own information. So you have your own information. You have your own Jesus too. You know what I'm saying? You have your own Christ. You know what I'm saying? And that's your solar plexus. That's your individuality. You know what I'm saying? So when we even get to like John 3:16, interpreting scripture, when they say for God, and God just represents the mind, for when God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. So this is you taking your mind and creating a thought about yourself and giving yourself to the world. You know what I'm saying? And so, did they tell you Jesus was you in the Bible too? So he gave his ability to use his own solar plexus. You know, his light, his individuality. You know what I'm saying? His just means below the horizon. So, and that's like your lower chakras and shit like that. So um, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. And like I said, Jesus is also synonymous with the sun. That's your sun sign. That's your solar plexus. That's your individuality. And that's your ability to shine. You know what I'm saying? The ability for you to see up and show your character. So anytime you as a God give your only begotten son, this is you uh, you giving your only begotten son, this is you getting lost in the light and actually thinking that your God, your mind is the spirit, is the flesh, is the mentality. You know what I'm saying? This is God getting lost in his mind and shit like that. But the thing is, as spirits, we not lost because your spirit is nothing. But we always create what we call light. You know what I'm saying? AKA information as spirits to hop into, to come through and express ourselves and see how that work out for us. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So yeah, like I said, I just want to break this down because I'm gonna be talking shit. Like I'm gonna be talking shit. Like and I'm gonna be talking shit. You know what I'm saying, on the internet. I'm gonna be kicking shit. I'm gonna be kicking truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be spilling truth so we can all get the full aspect of these things in the right totality. So yeah. So that's so let's finish it. That's whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Okay, so anytime you think so anytime you think you're gonna have everlasting life, you know what I'm saying? This is you clinging to your form or clinging to a form or something like that. So whosoever believeth in him. So when you have a image and you believe you that image and you give that image life and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That image life. But that image always gotta expire. All the way down to physical forms where you're living a motherfucking you're living a motherfucking you're living a motherfucking aspect of yourself, you know what I'm saying? And hold on, cause dude threw me out. Jew Malone is Jew Malone, you know what I'm saying? Jew Malone doing him and shit like that. I don't know, he got Twitter, you gotta hit him up and things of that nature and shit like that. But right now we talking some motherfucking whole other shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? It ain't 2080s. That shit like, oh, bro, you kind of like living in the past. You know what I'm saying? You like living in the past, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where you at right now. We talking about CeitoLLC. We talking about some whole knowledge shit. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Go find them though and let me know. That's what I'm saying. Y'all gotta let me know. But yeah, that so whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. So anytime you believe, you know what I'm saying, you are this light, you know what I'm saying, you believe that um believe in your man, you know what I'm saying? This is you starting to lie to yourself, and this is when you start the witchcraft of believing you're the lie in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? Now we all have these abilities because this is what we created as chakras to kind of experience this realm of reality, aka your sun sign through your Saturn and all type of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But getting back to it though, you know what I'm saying, they use the mind, you know what I'm saying, or the thought, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, so anytime, like I said, you got this shit too. So this just giving you the right context of how to look at this shit. They're not really talking about people, you know what I'm saying. They're not really anthropomorphizing in a way. They're anthropomorphizing to tell you a story, but they're not. But they're anthropomorphizing to for you to kind of take the actual way of how the Jews looked at it and for you to interpret it in a way where you are understanding that man means a mentality. You know what I'm saying? And anytime you have a mentality that leads to somewhere that has a certain direction, or woman means in the Bible, you know what I'm saying, means emotional. So depending on what type of emotional, it might be a chaotic emotion. It might be, you know what I'm saying. So it all go down to those types of terms and conditions. But you know what I'm saying. So just getting back on track and shit like that, because like I said, I'm gonna be just saying a lot of things and shit like that, and you know what I'm saying, when you just in a better aspect, you cannot be like lost and shit like that, and then you got people like praying to something outside of themselves and shit like that, you know what I'm saying. So and they talking about you, you know what I'm saying, they talk about your solar plexus and your ability to rise and show your individuality and shit like that, and when you do that shit, you know what I'm saying, but yeah, but um yeah, so anytime you love the world and shit like that, this is when you want to go participate. So you gonna make a shit, you know what I'm saying? But just don't get lost in that, you know what I'm saying? You don't ever want to believe, you know what I'm saying? Because you're not gonna have everlasting life in the flesh. And so when you get attached to your flesh, you get attached to your emotions. When it's not time to you, you get attached to your thought forms, you know what I'm saying? To the point where you start believing you're one of these mental forms. It's how you reincarnate and shit like that. So you got to be light as a spirit and come to some type of equilibrium and know that these are things that we're creating. So now you can be back in a mind state of where God was when He gave His only begotten Son. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so so this lets you know so like just the Bible. This lets you know that there's some shit they did with their mind But we all did this shit too, and that's why the Bible is so famous, because it's more so it's like it's telling a story of shit. It's just like they got some type of remix system right now, you know what I'm saying, with the churches and things of how they kind of reverse psychology and the spells and shit when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? So we just clearing that shit up. You know what I'm saying? We just making sure shit is in the right aspect. You know what I'm saying? People can get the knowledge and we can move forward with, you know what I'm saying? Interpretation, because these are rituals and spells. So when you don't believe you're the creator, you know what I'm saying? You believe you're the creation. This is when the somebody, whoever created that mind state for you, you give their that you give them your intellectual rights and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they um they feel like, you know what I'm saying, they feel they when you don't know yourself, you know what I'm saying, and you think you are the creation, this is you get lost in the mind. You can get fed anything and you can eat that and say, okay, it tastes good, but not really tasting good, and that's how you manifest bad rituals and shit like that, because you're doing like reverse type of spell on yourself. You know what I'm saying? You always supposed to remember you the creator, not the creation, in some way, shape, or form. And you know that's how we rocking. But yeah, so like even like Mickey Mouse. So Mickey Mouse just represents like this is another anthropomorphic type of character. You know what I'm saying? Anthropomorphic light type of character. So Mickey Mouse got a like if you think about it, what is it? It's supposed to be a mouse. So rats or whatever, they just small. They like very small and thing. But think about how broad Mickey Mouse imagination is. So that lets you know that that's what he represents. You know what I'm saying? He represents a small minded, you know what I'm saying, individual. So anytime your mind is light and shit, you know what I'm saying, it's small and it's really focused and shit, guess what you don't worry about? Everything else in the world. So everything else start being light, being magical and things of that nature. And then like when your mind is too aware of shit, you know what I'm saying, when you got too much going on and shit like that, your mind too heavy, you know what I'm saying, this is this is them you expanding. It ain't nothing. It's positives and negatives to everything. So this is you expanding your mind in some way, shape, or form to, you know what I'm saying, but now you got more responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Now you're not as focused, or you know what I'm saying? So it's all about expansion and contraction, knowing when to be, you know what I'm saying, less aware, you know what I'm saying, or you know what I'm saying, this man saying, fuck this shit, I don't, you know, this shit, you know what I'm saying, learning when to detach in a sense, or and also expanding, you know what I'm saying, learning when to um, also expanding on certain topics and things. Okay, so yeah, so moving on. So yeah, so let's get to titles and things, and then we gonna wrap this up and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because shit, we gonna keep it going. We gonna keep it rolling. We gonna keep it rolling. Just gotta get it out, share the knowledge and shit like that. Like, but yeah, so a name or a title is attached to signs, sigils, and speech and language. Okay, so this is when we get to like get us to our left brain qualities, aka the masculine brain. You know what I'm saying? The light, the logic. You know what I'm saying? When we try to be more left field. We try to separate. You know what I'm saying? We try to separate from what's right, aka what's, you know what I'm saying, and try to logically analyze that in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? This brings us to like I was saying in the beginning, like the four energy. You know, the four energy when you can, you know what I'm saying, square something out. That's why I got 4 points. Um, and come to a logical conclusion. You know what I'm saying? So um, this is us trying to separate from what the right brain, the feminine natures, the feelings. You know what I'm saying? The shapeless. You know what I'm saying? The formless. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we be right. That's why they say the right brain is more creative and shit like that, and the left brain is more about analyzing. But really, it's not really like right brain. Like it's really your higher chakras. You know what I'm saying? Your first house from your head. your Aries constellation, to your Libra, which would be the balancer, the scales, and then below and everything that's like your feminine natures and shit like that. So, you know, um, so yeah, so that's how it's rocking. So yeah, so when we talk about titles, this brings us to the four energy, aka trying to separate from our lower natures in some way, shape, or form. You get what I'm saying? And so when we try to separate from our lower natures, which our lower natures aren't bad, that's what we that's what we use to experience the forms and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? This is like a lower animalistic nature. You know what I'm saying? Your body, and the bugs and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? We all experience in nature on, you know what I'm saying, from a higher and lower. You know what I'm saying? Well, always, it's masculine, feminine energies to everything. You know, so always remember that as well. But yeah, so when we get into we using shapes and forms, aka the left brain, when we start giving shit titles. You know what I'm saying? So this is like what we was doing already before, like we was motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, started creating language and shit. You know what I'm saying? We was trying to separate from this shit, and then that's what created more definition, more demonic energy. Not demonic in the sense of religious in a sense, but demon just means um, anytime you bring something from a higher density, like an angel, and you bring it lower, you know what I'm saying? And that creates, you know what I'm saying, lower demons and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So even when you want to get to like shit like Aleister Crowley and, you know what I'm saying, the Goetias and shit like that, 72, you know what I'm saying, Goetias and shit like that, them just all demons and AKA, energies that have been sealed in a such way, and those energies represent a certain seal. But don't get scared and think that this ain't what people doing on the daily. When you see Apple logos and you see McDonald logos and you see Cisco, Amazon logos, all this is seals and language and shit like that. And you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. And so you can get scared all you want, but for the most part, we all trying to point to something as a point of reference and bring that shit down in a motherfucking physical in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so when we get to what up, Bird? What up, Bird? You know how we rocking. So that's why everything is manifested with the word. Everything is manifested with the word. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Everything is manifested with the word. That's why we have definition. You know what I'm saying? Definition. Okay, because a word always got a definition, and a death of initiation. That's what I like to call it, because for the most part, it's a death of awareness, something that was initiated before it came down to physical form and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. And so that's why words have meaning and shit like that, because that one word can mean hella shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when we give it title, you know what I'm saying, we bring that down into demon form. And that's how you understand demons and what they trying to scare y'all with and shit, and it ain't even that scary. And shit like that. We all in bodies. We all a sign. We all got our own signature and sign and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Just don't get lost in your mind. And that's all you gotta do. You just gotta know you ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? You ain't shit. You the creator. You know what I'm saying? You ain't shit. But yeah. So this one we know light, that light can become a form and for a spirit, and that spirit can take to realize itself and then die and go do that somewhere else. Okay, so anytime you give light an image, um, a sign, or a sigil, this is you encapsulating that energy and preserving that juice that you just extracted. So now that whatever title that from that juice you extract is going to represent and do its best to represent the space of that object based on lettering, spelling, vowels. For instance, like you got a plant, right? A plant is a plant, but it be like specific plants and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So we know, grass. I mean, well, we know a fucking cactus plant ain't the same as weed. You know what I'm saying? So the name and the title, the more specific you get with it, it leads to like geographical location, you know what I'm saying, origins, informations, and this is the concepts of like knowing where we came from. So us not getting lost to our journey. So this is what titles is for. So um yeah, let me move on. Yeah, I ain't finna, like I said, I know I be talking shit on my lives and shit, my videos, and y'all be like, man, what is he talking about, light and shit like that? What is he talking about? You know what I'm saying? What does this mean? And I'm just trying to break it down. So it's like, so if y'all watch me, y'all can watch that shit, understand what I'm talking about in my music, understand the world, the space and shit like that we be in. Shout out to the Soul Group, and that's how we do it. So yeah, so we are giving things titles that already are. You know what I'm saying? That already are. Um, I don't even know what I be writing sometimes. I can't even read my own handwriting. Not even if it's resonate with the words. I guess I said name. Oh yeah, so like this is what I was saying. So even if it's a nickname, you resonated with the words, spellings, and a vibration based on that information. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you got a nickname or something like that, or you took on a nickname, you know what I'm saying? You resonated with the words, the spelling, the vibration, or the information you received mentally, emotionally, and physically. So not trying to fit you, so this is what you not trying to do. You're not trying to fit your shit into a title. You know what I'm saying? A title is basically is trying to point to what is. You know what I'm saying? So that's where they got us fucked up. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to like certain things and shit like that in the world, you gotta be fit to be a businessman. You gotta be fit to be a this the fuck. You gotta be a fit to be a that the fuck type of relationship. You gotta be a fit to be that the fuck type of, you know what I'm saying? And it's not, that's not how it happens. You know what I'm saying? We're giving things titles that are, not we're taking titles and trying to make them fit us. You know what I'm saying? It don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? It don't work that way. It don't. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So that's how people get stuck in titles now. So even when we look at fame, you know what I'm saying? People might be one of famous, and but you're not understanding that people be famous. Um, real shit, squares everywhere. People want to be famous for people want to be. I mean, people be famous for who they are. You get what I'm saying? It ain't like unless they are in a square. Shout out to Bird. You know what I'm saying? AKA they take on a title and shit like that, or take on something for monetary gain and shit like that. And this is not them, and this is how they end up in a bad situation because they didn't necessarily do it God's way. They kind of cheated the system and shit like, well, thought they was getting a shortcut and shit like that, but for the most part, these are the people that either kill themselves or be miserable because they didn't took on too much. So, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna find out. So you gotta watch what you ask for, you know what I'm saying, in titles, because you're gonna find out what that energy is and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, what you wanna do is get up and get your own title or shit like that. Call your shit your own shit. You know what I'm saying? Smoke my own shit. Shout out to Valley. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that wraps up the motherfucking video on just titles, names, anthropomorphism and shit like that, and light and shit. And you know what I'm saying? I hope y'all enjoyed that one. Yeah, shout out to Bird. Motherfuckers about to be in Miami, you know what I'm saying? We about to shoot some shit, you know what I'm saying? We got some shit coming and things of that nature, music vibes on another level and shit like that. And hopefully everybody vibing with us. And that's how we going. Shout out to Cody. It's Cody Cash and his mod, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, y'all already know how I do. Get your ass in the game.